Hi, this is Makolas Pukani, the leader and the founder of Church Governance Solutions. Today, I want to address the issue of uh, downfall of ministries, and I want to address common causes thereof of downfall of many ministries. And I'm sure you would agree with us that we see many ministries falling down, some breaking down, some just actually not continuing. And there are many reasons towards that, but we want to just outline today some few of those common causes of ministry downfall, and you'll realize that this can be avoided. Majority of them can be avoided, and if we can, please, let's try to avoid this type of challenges, this type of causes, because when we can avoid them, then we can therefore run our ministries effectively without them falling down. That's very, very important. Some of the common causes of ministry downfall, one is lack of vision. When a minister doesn't have vision, particularly the visionary himself doesn't have a vision, because there are a lot of ministers that think that they've got a vision. Some of them have started churches without a vision, and they are not aware initially that they don't have a vision until they get straight into the ministry. And as they continue, they realize that there's no direction in this thing. And this thing is now getting difficult because there's no vision, there's no direction, they don't know what to do. And that becomes very crucial that a ministry have a vision, because a ministry without a vision will definitely fall down. It will not continue at all. I've spoken to many ministers, and I've had some, when I ask them what is the vision of the ministry, some pastors will tell you, no, pastor, we don't have a vision for now. This thing of vision, we'll see it later. We just started the ministry, we'll see this vision thing later. But I want to warn you as a pastor that it is very important that you have the vision prior to you starting the church, because if a church is started without a vision, that will not suffice. That will not survive either, because a church without a vision is just not going anywhere. And I must emphasize that, because it's very important for us to understand that the vision is key. It's important because vision provides a sense of meaning. And the sense actually of purpose for any ministry and for any visionary. When you've got a purpose, you've got a reason to wake up in the morning, you have got something to pursue and drive, you've got something to fulfill, and make sure that every time you wake up in the morning, you know exactly what to do, because you are having a vision. The other thing is lack of commitment by the visionary themselves. Because some of them, the visionaries, they've got a vision. Yes, they do. And some of them are called by God. Yes, they do. But they lack commitment in their own ministry. Because when you are not committed in your own ministry, you are not going anywhere, because people can only commit where the minister or the visionary himself is committed. Because people want to see you as an example of what you're believing in, what God called you in. They want you to set the path of direction so that they can follow you as a leader. Now, when the visionary doesn't have commitment himself, he's forever banking church himself. He's banking the ministry time. He's not committed with his resources as well for the ministry. He's not committed with his own time. He's not committed with anything in the ministry. So when the minister or the visionary himself is not committed, no one can be expected to be committed in this ministry. And I must emphasize that when we speak about poor commitment or lack of commitment from the visionary, it is always influenced ministries to crumble down, because when there's no commitment, nobody will be committed. But also, I must speak about poor leadership by visionary. Now, this is a very crucial issue, and it's a topic on its own that I would love to address one day, of poor leadership in ministries. Now, a ministry should actually be a ministry, because it's a vision, should be actually having proper leadership, proper structures, and proper administration as well. And it is because we are having ministers that are called by God, but they don't invest their time in their own lives, whereby they learn leadership skills, whereby they attend seminars that will teach them about leadership, that they attend courses that will teach them about a superb leadership and also administration as well. Well, when you teach about administration and leadership, many pastors just don't care about it. They don't think they need it. But this is very key. And that is why when we run seminars, many times as church governance solutions, we have got poor attendance, and because many pastors think that they know they got good leadership, and some think that they know a good administration, yet they are poor. And those that are poor in administration and leadership, they are actually leading their own ministry into crumbling down. And that is why some of the ministries have actually fallen by the wayside. Is poor leadership by the visionary himself, poor administration by the leader himself. So that's very key, that we actually invest in our own skills of leadership, in our own knowledge of administration as well, and make sure that we practically apply the leadership skills that are necessary, and of course, the administration that is needed as well. So poor leadership has actually caused many ministries to fall, and that's one thing that we need to emphasize. The other thing is nepotism in appointment of leadership. Now, nepotism in appointment of leadership has actually crumbled a lot of ministries as well. Because it's not every brother of yours that is good in leadership, that is good in ministry. It's not every sister of yours that is good in leadership as a pastor. Not every family member is actually called in ministry. So therefore, when you appoint leaders, appoint people that are capable. Appoint people that are able, people that are filled of the Spirit, people that are having wisdom as well. So appoint people that will be capable to do the work. Not necessarily people because they are of your own family. Because we know there are many people that have actually appointed people in leadership because they are family members. So I want to emphasize that it is not a family business here. It is actually the ministry that God called you in. And if you want to see this ministry continue and doing well, don't use nepotism in appointment of people, because nepotism has actually made a lot of ministries to crumble and to fall by the wayside. And I want to warn many pastors regarding this again. Poor financial management or finance management is a very, very key issue that we need to emphasize as well. There are many pastors that have got their own churches, and as they have their own churches, what they consider important is the finances. And they want to manage the finances by themselves. They know they are not good in managing finances. They know they are not honest as well and faithful in managing finances. But they manage the finances anyway because they are worried about finances getting lost in the hands of other people, because they know of themselves that money gets lost in their hands. So therefore, they think that everybody will actually siphon money into their own pockets. But I want to emphasize that we need proper financial management. And we'll speak about this in the next topic, about the finance management in the ministry, because it's very, very important. And I want to pick this one up because that's a topic that is following tomorrow, so that you can learn out of this. Because it's very important that we manage finances of the church appropriately. As I said, I will address this topic tomorrow. So please join us tomorrow as we will be addressing this topic of finances. But for now, I want to continue and say the other thing that is a common downfall of ministry is rebellion of leadership at leadership level, whereby the leaders are rebellious, whereby the leaders are just not submissive enough. They are not listening to the leader. They are not actually following the instructions of the leader, but they want to do their own things. Now, when you have got rebellion at the leadership level, that is going to cause crumbling of the ministry. That is going to cause a downfall of the ministry. And that is why many ministries, we have seen them actually breaking into two. We have seen them actually breaking away because of rebellious leadership that has actually felt that they are big-headed enough, they can open ministries of their own. But problematically is that they don't open the ministries of their own. They want to take some of the members from this particular church and go with them. And that is disorder. And that is not of God. And that is evil completely, when you are opening your own church and you want to take members from the very same church that you were in. That is evil. And that cannot be done. Because remember, people are in this church because they believe in the man of God in this house. And they believe in the vision itself. So therefore, as a rebellious leader, move away. Go away, far away from where the church is, and go and open your own church. Let us see if you will be able to run a church. But I can bet with you that when you are walking out of a church because of rebellion, chances are that you're not going to be successful in your own ministry, because you're going to see people rebellious against you as well. Because what you have sown is definitely what you will reap as well. So I want to warn pastors from being rebellious. I want to warn pastors from not submitting under other pastors, because this, as a leader, you need to submit under the visionary. Because remember, when the vision has been given to a man or a woman of God, we need to support that man or woman of God honestly so, faithfully so, to make sure that the vision succeed, because this is a kingdom of God, by the way. And as we support a man in the vision, we are supporting God as a result, or we are serving God as a result. So please be aware of that and avoid rebellion of leadership in the churches, because that is not taking us anywhere, but is actually leading to the downfall of ministries. The other thing that is of detriment when it comes to downfall of ministries is autocratic approach in leadership, whereby many pastors, because they just don't trust anyone, they just don't have faith in anyone. We have seen people, pastors that don't trust anyone. They want to handle things themselves. They want to do everything. They've become jack of all trades and master of none. Even when they've got a leadership team, which is their committee or their board members, they don't trust them. And that is why even their leadership is autocratic in nature. They come in meetings and already saying, God said this to me, to the leadership board. Because when you say God said this to you, why do you need a meeting therefore? Why don't you implement that which God has spoken to you? And there are many pastors that hide behind God said this to me. So if God says that to you, why do you need therefore a leadership board? If God speaks to you every single thing, why do you need a leadership board? Because we need a leadership board for ideas. We need leadership board for wisdom and advice. We need leadership board for support. And that is the reason why we cannot be jack of all trades. And I want to warn pastors against this, because when you're autocratic in nature of your approach, you're going to lose a lot of leaders. You're going to lose a lot of members as well. Also, you're going to deny your ministry opportunity of success and growth. So therefore, I want to warn you as leaders or pastors that are running churches, that avoid being autocratic in your approach of leading a ministry, because that will stifle the potential of the ministry to grow, and therefore it will actually kill the ministry by the wayside. There's another thing that really stifles a ministry, or it actually kills the ministry, or causes a downfall, is doctrine and ideological differences amongst the leaders themselves. Because there are leaders amongst, in a church that may differ in ideologies. And they differ sometimes in doctrines as well. And when they differ in doctrines and ideologies, that generally makes ministry to crumble and fall by the wayside. And that is why, as Church Governance Solutions, we always advise that if maybe the assistant pastors are differing with the senior pastor with ideologies or even doctrine differences, so rather let the junior pastors or the assistant pastors be released to leave. Let them leave on their own volition, because the more you continue together, the more you cause strife in this ministry. And many ministries have crumbled by the wayside and fallen down because of difference in ideologies and doctrines, but people actually keep on staying together. They want to continue forcing to work together while they differ in ideologies and doctrines as well. That is a crucial place to differ upon, because if you differ by doctrines, you differ by ideologies, the ministry will not go far, because you will be actually opposing each other at any given time, and that is not going to make the ministry progressive at all. Lastly, the other thing that is problematic in ministries that causes ministries to fall by the wayside is complacency, leading to stagnation, because there are most of the churches that feel they've arrived, or many ministers that feel they have arrived, and therefore they become complacent with themselves. And when you are complacent, that will lead to stagnation, and you find that the ministries don't progress, and therefore they actually crumble down because they've been stagnant for a very long time. And when it is stagnant, when a ministry is stagnant, it is not going to progress at all. And therefore, ministries like that, they die a natural death. I want to end up here today. Your host, Makhona Spokane. Thank you very much for listening to us and being part of this great topic. And I want to urge you to join us as we deal with managing finances in the ministry, as I promised yesterday. May the good Lord bless you, and allow me to say cheers for now.